As this season comes to rest, what remains is subtle. Not a revelation, not a breakthrough. What remains is the absence of something that once quietly governed everything. Arrival, not achievement, not progress. Arrival as the sense that life is heading toward a final state. Place where things settle. A version of yourself that will be complete. For most of our lives, arrival is assumed. We live toward it without questioning it. One day I'll be there. One day this will make sense. One day I'll feel finished. Arrival gives direction to effort. It justifies struggle, promises relief. And even as awareness begins, arrival often stays intact. We imagine an awakened version of ourselves, an integrated version, a healed version, a point where the work is done. But over time, arrival starts to feel less convincing. Not because life becomes disappointing, but because each time you think you've arrived, life continues. There's always another day, another moment, another response required. I noticed this shift when getting there stopped motivating me. Not because I was discouraged, because I couldn't locate where there actually was. Every version of arrival I imagined turned out to be temporary. Every sense of completion quietly dissolved into the next moment. And instead of frustration, there was relief. Living without arrival doesn't happen because you give up on growth. It happens because you see that life doesn't culminate. It unfolds. Arrival is a concept we place on life to make it feel manageable. But life doesn't seem interested in being finished. Keeps moving, breathing, changing. Living without arrival feels like a soft landing. Not because something ends, but because the chase stops. You're no longer orienting toward a future self who will finally be okay. You're no longer postponing peace until conditions are met. You're here, and here isn't lacking anything. That doesn't mean life is perfect. It means it doesn't need to conclude in order to be lived fully. This is difficult to trust at first, because arrival has been how we endure discomfort. Once this resolves, I'll relax. Once I heal this, I'll be whole. Once I understand this, I'll settle. Arrival keeps peace in the future. Living without arrival brings peace into the present. Not as a reward, as a condition. You stop treating the present moment as a waiting room. You're not killing time until life begins. This is where everything in Season 2 converges. Without reference, you're not comparing yourself to who you were. Without direction, you're not moving toward a destination. Without proof, you're not justifying your existence. Without roles, you're not performing for connection. Without expectation, you're not negotiating with outcomes. Without control, you're not managing life from ahead of the moment. Without certainty, you're not demanding guarantees. Without meaning, you're not translating experience into explanation. Without fixing, you're not treating yourself or life as a problem. What remains is simple: living. And living doesn't arrive anywhere, keeps happening. Living without arrival changes how you experience time. Time no longer feels like a path with milestones. It feels like a series of moments that don't need to add up. You're not behind. You're not ahead. You're here. That neutralizes a tremendous amount of pressure. You stop measuring your life against imagined endpoints. You stop asking whether you're there yet. There is no there. There is only this moment, this breath, this response. And that's enough. Living without arrival also changes how you relate to healing. Healing no longer means reaching a final state. It becomes ongoing responsiveness. Some days feel open. Some days feel heavy. Neither indicates failure. Neither delays completion. They're just part of being alive. You don't need to fix what arises in order to continue. You continue because you're alive. This is deeply stabilizing, because arrival used to turn setbacks into crises. If I've arrived, I shouldn't feel this way. Without arrival, nothing contradicts anything. You can feel grief and peace in the same week. You can feel clarity and confusion in the same day. Nothing is out of place. This stage often brings a quiet humility, not because you feel small, because you stop placing yourself at the center of a narrative arc. You're not the hero approaching resolution. You're a participant in something ongoing. That participation is intimate, not dramatic. You're not building toward a climax. You're showing up. Living without arrival also reshapes ambition. Ambition no longer aims at completion. It becomes expression. You do things because they want to be done, not because they lead somewhere final. This changes how effort feels. Effort is cleaner, less loaded. You work without trying to secure the future. You rest without fearing stagnation. You're not trying to finish yourself. Living without arrival also affects how you relate to death. Not in a morbid way, in a grounded way. You see that life isn't something that completes neatly. It ends because it ends, not because it reached fulfillment. That makes life more precious. Not because it's meaningful, because it's fleeting. And fleeting things don't need to culminate to matter. They matter because they happen. Living without arrival also softens regret. Regret often assumes you were supposed to get somewhere. You were supposed to be further along. Without arrival, that framework dissolves. There's no final destination you missed. There's just a series of responses you lived. Some felt aligned, some didn't. That's not failure. That's life. This stage doesn't remove longing. You still long for connection, for ease, for understanding. But longing isn't tied to completion. It's allowed to exist without needing fulfillment. That makes it gentler, less desperate. Living without arrival doesn't make life flat. It makes it textured. You notice nuance. You notice subtle shifts. You're not rushing through moments to reach something else. You let them land. Season 2 was never about removing things to arrive somewhere better. It was about noticing how much you were carrying and setting it down. Reference, direction, proof, roles, expectation, control, certainty, meaning, fixing, arrival. Each of these once gave structure. They helped you navigate. They helped you survive. But survival structures aren't meant to become permanent homes. Now there's nothing left to dismantle. There's just living. And living doesn't need to resolve. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to finish. Continues, moment by moment, responsive, immediate, unfinished. If you've noticed yourself less interested in reaching a final state, if the idea of being done feels unnecessary, if presence feels sufficient even without completion, you haven't stalled. You've stopped chasing. And in stopping, you didn't lose momentum. You found steadiness. A steadiness that doesn't depend on where you're headed. A steadiness that exists because you're here, now. And if this reflection met something real in you, liking the video helps it reach others who may be learning how to live without waiting to arrive. If someone came to mind while listening, sharing it may help them feel less alone in that quiet recognition. You're welcome to subscribe if you'd like to continue forward, not toward an ending, but into whatever unfolds next. Living unfinished doesn't conclude, continues, and so do you.